there's no clear-cut legislation on matters of how to engage the public. We have been asked to create a forum of how to engage with the public. And you rightly pointed out, Dr. Okot, that this is a first step in doing that, which we are doing. So I said clearly we require the Court of Appeal to come up with clear guidelines on how we can do this public participation. As far as I'm concerned, and we are both lawyers, we know the public PFM Act is there, we know the regulations are there, even the CS Finance is still working on the regulations. We have the Public Procurement Oversight Authority, which also needs to come in and give clear guidelines to this country, because what the court said actually affects not just IEBC, but all other agencies. And I think it's important that that's picked up. But that has nothing to do with this consultation. We are talking about presidential ballot papers. And I think we take your views very seriously. As a commission, we shall retreat and look at each and every one of your views and come up with what we think is the best interest of the country. So I don't know whether we have any other comments. We would like to sum up this meeting.
I think we need to understand that. Because if you've appealed, then everything else is frozen. That issue arose in the court also, that you wanted a stay, which was not granted. But if you have appealed, one will want to know the extent of the nature that, what you're appealing against. I know it may not be against the whole judgment. But for purposes of being transparent and clear about what we are doing, it would be important to know whether you're continuing with the process in terms of procurement, and you're appealing only to get clarity on what is public participation. But if you are appealing on the basis of public participation, then I can offer legal advice to the Commission what constitutes public participation. I can write you a paper for your consideration. Because I think the law is very clear now. I think there are many judgments now on the question of what constitutes public participation. But as regards this meeting, this is what we were fearing, that we may talk and talk and talk without having clarity of what we're dealing with. And it's emerging at the end of all this that there's no clarity on what we are trying to do. And for my part, and for the part of NASA, we know that the procurement process, except for those provisions of the Constitution, is a matter that is left to the procurement entity. We are not going to play a role on what you must do or must not do, because the law is clear on that. But when it comes to issues of transparency and fairness, which are constitutional standards and values, then that is where we can have that engagement. But I don't want somebody to think that NASA is going to choose for you who the printer is going to be. That is not part of our business, and is not part of our proposal in that paper.
All right, thank you. Let's have the last comment, then we sum up. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, this meeting is a lot like last time's meeting at Intercon. And this is how it is. You were given a mandate to discharge your duties as IEBC because the powers that be believe that you're qualified to do that job and to do it independently. The court has thrown in a spanner in the works, and we still believe you're competent enough to discharge your duties regardless of the spanner in the works that has been thrown to you by the courts. I'm not too sure about this consultation because it starts to look like we are here to tell you how to do your job by giving you proposals, some written, some not, which is actually causing this, what others would call sideshows. I would prefer the commission, which is independent, and indeed it is capable, to have called us here to tell us your position. After the court ruling, this is where the commission is at right now. We are pressed for time. We have run out of suppliers. We intend to appeal. And in good faith, what do you, the participants of the process, think, or how can you help us, or the suggestion you'd give us as a commission to move on with our work? And right now I'm thinking, you already have your mind made up, just like last time, Mr. Chairman. And we are, I don't know, you are entertaining us. That's how I'm seeing. And personally, I'd prefer if you just come out clear. As the commission, are you still going on with Al Ghurair? Have you zeroed in on a number of suppliers whom you intend to engage as far as this procurement is concerned? Because indeed, the invitation letter focused so much on the procurement of the presidential ballot papers, which we have actually spent very little time to talk about. We've spoken about how some presidential candidates have time, how some have no time, all these other things. And I would really prefer leaving this table knowing who is printing the ballot papers, or rather who are the number, or who are the suppliers who are being considered to do that job. And I don't necessarily need to tell you who to print, just like everybody has said. It is your job. You should be independent. So this consultation is now turning out to be a contest on who will give you a better suggestion on how to do your job. And I think that time is gone. Right now you are the judge, the jury, the executioner. Do your job and let us play our part, and I think all will be well.
Yes, as you can see, Mr. Chairman, and I would like to reiterate the things that I said, is that there is a sense in which we came to a meeting expecting something that is not being given to us.
Let's have one meeting, please.
That is not being given to us in order for us to be helpful to the process. And I asked from the very beginning that which was necessary for us to make a sensible and a helpful contribution to this process. What is the Commission's interpretation of the ruling? What does the Commission see as the immediate implications of that ruling to the electoral process? In what ways or ways will the IEBC respond to those implications? Then, what does the IEBC see as our role as stakeholders in what your interpretation and what your steps are going to be, so that then we can address ourselves specifically to those roles that you see as belonging to us as stakeholders? Mr. Chairman, without that kind of guidance, what you get is what you have had here, that everybody comes with their own proposals, they come with their own ideas, they come with their own memoranda. At the end of the day, I am not sure that what is being presented here is what you wanted, because you haven't actually told us what is your position on these issues so that we can respond to them. And that is why some people are suspecting that this is the same meeting that we had the previous time at Intercont, where it was just what somebody is worried. It was a talk shop. Yeah, it was a talk shop, and then here we are in another talk shop. We don't know what this information is going to be done, is going to be used to do. So, Mr. Chairman, there's a sense in which we were called for a meeting to which up to now, we don't know what our role was supposed to be, because that has not been explained to us, with all due respect, sir.
Yeah, I think we need to get somewhere.
Just one proposal,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. I was going to propose that the reason why we are here is that there has been a failure of consultation that has led to a court process. That's why we're having this consultation. So my advice is this. Probably, you may consider retiring and also allowing us time, if you can sit as representative of political parties, to negotiate and discuss some of these issues. You also come up with a proposal to us on how you intend to drive this process. We may consult on our own, and we tell you, this is our proposal, what you should consider. When we meet, you tell us what your proposal is. It may be the same as the proposal that we have, and we drive this process forward. Senator Orengo said something which I want to amplify. We are not late. We have sufficient time to, in a way that accords to the principles of the Constitution, print and deliver these ballots across the country.
Yeah, there's a general feeling that all the candidates consult. That is a proposal from the NASA team. Okay. So in that case, then...
Bismillah, that's also prayer. Chair, I think you were doing very well before our brother from NASA spoke. We're doing very